all of these incredible women over here at this table. I just feel really honored to be included, and I want to take a minute to acknowledge you guys for being here on a weeknight, no less, investing in yourselves and the other women in this room and this incredible cause that we're here for tonight. So just thank you for being here. I'm going to be talking to you guys tonight about self-love through seasons. I want to say right off the bat that self-love is not selfishness. Self-love is not vanity. Self-love isn't me first or only me. Self-love is me too. There was a lot of years of my life where I didn't understand what that meant, and that didn't happen for me in my life. I got a big wake-up call back in 2015. I was a new mom, freshly married, just started my teaching career, and I was showing up for everyone and everything else but myself. And I have my son to thank for my wake-up call. He was a toddler at the time, and he was, you know the things toddlers do where they run away from you when they look behind? They want you to catch them. And it was cute for a minute until I realized he was running towards the street. So in this moment, I was in this place in my life, not healthy at all. I ran as fast as I could to get to him. And I got him. I just barely caught his arm right before he went to the road. And I remember after catching my breath and trying not to throw up, looking down at him and thinking, this is not okay. I have so much life ahead of me. He has so much life ahead of him, and we deserve better. So the following week, I would start working out. I would completely overhaul my lifestyle. I was dedicated to changing my life for myself and for my son. I would go on to work out at home, change our eating habits, and over the next 18 months, lose 100 pounds. This season taught me that change, no matter how big, is possible when you have a strong why. So, this would not be a speech as a mom without both of my kids being included. The next chapter is about my daughter. So when my daughter was born, my perspective on my body and myself changed immensely. I looked at my relationship with my body and how I wanted her to grow up with a solid respect and love for herself, which is not something that I always had for myself as a young girl. Being strong and healthy as a new mom was important to me this time around, but between a new baby, hormones, body changes, lack of sleep, the bounce back after she was born didn't happen for me like the media likes to portray to us. So I decided to lead by example for her and embrace those changes in my body. I was going to learn to balance showing up for myself and loving myself in this season. At that same time, I started sharing this part of my journey really authentically online. This was a time in Instagram when there wasn't a lot of that kind of content. We see a lot more of it now. But in the fitness industry, it was a lot of get a six-pack, right? There wasn't a lot of real authentic sharing. And so I wanted to create that space for women, and it ended up, a lot of women ended up being able to resonate with that. This season taught me that imperfection is beautiful and that our bodies as women and mothers endure so much, and that's something to be proud of. So over the next couple of years, this next season, I ended up leaving teaching and coaching full-time from home. This was my life was at a high. It was the height of my business, height of my personal journey. I was in the best shape of my life and home with both of my kids. I was living my dream. And life was really, really good until it wasn't. In December of that year, I lost my grandmother, who was like a second mom to me. She had an incredible impact on my life. And a few months later, my marriage ended. I was blindsided by both, and the grief was all-consuming. My body didn't know what to do with so much pain, and my nervous system was seriously suffering. I had to adjust being a mom on my own while running a business and processing all of my pain. So ultimately, I fell back into old habits, became depressed, and lost myself again. And that's this photo here. This season showed me what grief and hardship can do to you, no matter how many tools you have in place. So this next season, the Band-Aid. I knew I didn't come this far just to come this far. I wasn't going to give up on myself. I'm a fighter. I committed 100% back into my fitness journey, and slowly but surely could feel my spark coming back. I was on a mission to prove to myself that I was worthy and could still be successful, and that this was not going to take me down. On the outside, it looked like a comeback, but honestly, it was a Band-Aid to a much bigger problem. My stress and anxiety outlet went from food to fitness, which worked for a while. But meanwhile, the world was shut down, I was running a business, I was a new single mom, homeschooling 2 kids, and trying to keep my sanity, which was really hard at that time. Anybody else? I was trying to do it all perfectly. In fact, I was determined to prove that I could do it all perfectly. But looking back, like I said, it was a Band-Aid. I still hadn't taken a look at what was going on inside because honestly, that terrified me. Eventually, burnout brought me to a screeching halt. This wasn't working either. This season taught me that there was more to transformation than what you see on the outside, and that the inside matters a lot. So I noted a huge pattern in all of those seasons, which was an all or nothing mentality, and it wasn't working. So this next season wasn't going to be about my weight. It was much more important than that. I wouldn't be focusing on the size of my body or pounds on the scale as proof of progress. I was going to take everything I learned along the way and do something about it. So this led me to my certification and learning everything I could about the relationship with self, mindset, habits, and the beliefs we carry as women about ourselves and our bodies and how that shows up in our day-to-day life. I started applying what I learned to my own healing and a few select clients, and the results blew my mind. This is what was missing. After that moment, I promised to never coach solely on weight loss again because women needed and deserve so much more than that in the fitness space. So, where are we at? Some things I wish I knew along the way. Here we go. Honor your season. All of these different seasons required different versions of me, and if I had taken the time to slow down in those seasons and really look at what was going on in my life and adjusted things accordingly, I think that things would have gone a lot differently. I don't wish anything would have changed because I learned so much from it and I was able to bring it to my clients and I learned so much. But honor your season, ask yourself what you need, and adjust when necessary. You're not going to be able to show up as a 10 out of 10 in all areas all the time, and that's okay. Make grace for yourself a habit. We are so hard on ourselves, ladies. We are so hard on ourselves, and we need to give ourselves a little bit more grace. And let go of perfectionism. Seasons are inevitable. Some are incredible, and some bring us to our knees. We can't control what life throws our way, but one thing is for sure, self-love is an ongoing commitment. It's a decision we get to make every single day to ourselves, for ourselves. It takes effort and intention, and although it can be a difficult journey, you are absolutely worth the trip.